What up? My name's Wolf, I'm the 2016 Pokemon World Champion, and today we're continuing our guide series for VGC18, which is the official competitive format for the next year, starting in January, starting in January, and we're continuing our series with Naganadel. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly. I am always traditionally weak with pronunciation, but I'm going to call it Naganadel. If it's Naganadel, I'm sorry. If it's Naganadel, if it's not Naganadel, I'm very sorry. I'm going to call it Naganadel. I'm sorry. Anyway, we're continuing it with Naganadel, which is a Poison Dragon Ultra Beast. It's one of the effectively three new Pokemon introduced in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. It has really, really cool typing. It's not unique because Dragargle also has Poison Dragon typing, but because of the stat distribution, it plays very differently. It's a Pokemon I'm super excited to test out, and I think it honestly looks really cool. I like it a lot, so I was excited to do this guide. I was excited to start taking a look at it. I want to preface all my guides, and I'm sure I'll inevitably forget sometimes, is that this is just a guide to kind of give you an intro into using the Pokemon. I haven't obviously tested extensively because the format's so new, but this isn't like I'm not saying that this is like the absolute only way you can use this Pokemon, but it's kind of just my initial ideas, and if I was going to start testing this Pokemon, where I would start. Feel free to change around any sets, any EVs, any items as your team requires, because a lot of competitive Pokemon also depends on the rest of your team. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at this thing. So first of all, I like the design. I think it looks kind of cool. Second of all, stats are interesting. As you can see, the HP defense and special defense are not great. It's not the frailest Pokemon. It's obviously got more bulk than Blacephalon and a lot of other frail Pokemon, but it's not the bulkiest. But it's honestly not that bad when it comes to bulk. It's not so bad that it will be KO'd by neutral effectiveness attacks for the most part. It's very fast. 121 base speed is, I think it lets it hit 190 maximum, around there, and that's extremely fast. That's a big deal. So it can outspeed a large portion of the metagame, and it actually has a really good special attack stat as well. With these attributes, basically most of the time you're going to be using Naganadel as a fast special attacker, and how fast and how much damage output you want kind of depends. So yeah, looking at moves, Draco Meteor and Sludge Bomb are going to be pretty common, I think. Poison and Dragon is cool because with the introduction of Fairy typing in Generation 6, Dragon, which was previously like Generation 5 and 4, I didn't play competitively in 3, I don't even know if it was competitive in 3, but anyway, Generation 5 and Generation 4, Dragon typing was like really, really strong. In 2012, I especially remember, Dragon, that was when we had gems. Dragon Gem, Draco Meteor, Latios was like the defining attack in the metagame, and in 2013, there was like Dragon Gem, Hydreigon. Ray won Worlds with Hydreigon, though it didn't. I believe it was no, it was not. I don't remember the item actually in 2012. I'm sorry, because he also used it in 2011 with Chugwall. But anyway, yeah, Dragon moves were like the defining feature of the metagame. Because the only thing that resisted them back then was Steel. And there were good Steel types, but like a lot of Dragon Pokemon could learn Fire moves, and like if you only have one, like the Dragon Gem Draco Meteor did so much damage that, like, even Heatran, for example, and Scizor, like, would take a lot of damage from it. So yeah, anyway, Dragon was really good. In Generation 6, they introduced Fairy typing, and because Fairy has an immunity to Dragon, it kind of changed the way that Dragons worked, and it's weak to, like, Dragons are also weak to Fairy, so, of course, Dragons are, like, still super good. Like, we saw Garchomp a lot last year, and, yeah, but basically with all these Fairy types, like, Dragon has definitely received a pretty big nerf, and so that's why I think Poison is such a cool secondary typing for a Dragon-type Pokemon, because it allows it to, basically it's the same thing as before, where now, like, only a Steel type can safely switch in, for the most part. So, yeah, Poison Dragon is really cool coverage. Draco Meteor and Sludge Bomb are its strongest respective stabs, in doubles, because Sludge Wave is stronger in singles. Other moves that I think are viable: Dragon Pulse, Hidden Power Ice, U-Turn, Flamethrower, Skydrop, also Hidden Power Ground. I don't have that on here. In terms of just like more defensive moves, Protect obviously is going to be on almost every set. Nasty Plot is pretty cool. Like, honestly, I like Nasty Plot a lot. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I think it's super cool because Naganadel is so fast. And yeah, Substitute is always a solid move on a fast Pokemon. Tailwind, good support. Helping Hand, everything gets Ally Switch. Welcome to 2018. That's going to be either very fun or very scary, depending on whose side you're on. But yeah, Ally Switch is on the table. Snarl is also an option as well. Yeah, I tend to rank these kind of in, like, viability for the most part. I mean, Flamethrower is obviously pretty viable. But, yeah, I don't know how much Snarl we're going to see. I don't know how much Skydrop we're going to see. But they're definitely options to keep in mind. In terms of items, I have Choice Scarf, Life Orb, Poisinium Z, and Dragonium Z on here. Those are the things that first jumped out at me. I want to, like, Calcs with Choice Specs at some point. And I didn't include it on the guide because I think it's really straightforward. But Focus Sash, I think, is a really solid set. Just like max speed, max special attack, 4 in HP or wherever you want, and just using like whatever moves you need. So I don't have I don't have a set on here for Focus Sash, but I think it's really good. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, first set. First set we have is POISINIUM Z. I really like this a lot because it allows it to Oko Tapu Fini and Tapu Lele, and yeah, just like has a really strong stab move for fairy types. I don't think we're gonna be seeing a ton of Sylveon, though. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Sylveon's always been a good Pokemon, so we could see a lot of Sylveon, but like POISINIUM Z would be really good for that as well. So this is the first set that I came up with. Pretty straightforward EVs, just maximum in speed, be as fast as possible, max special attack, do as much damage as possible, and 4 in HP. Hit the speed stat of 190. Moves are Protect, Draco Meteor, Sludge Bomb, and either Flamethrower or Hidden Power Ground. I originally thought about Hidden Power Ice, but you already outspeed Salamence, and so you'd just be using it for Landorus, and Draco Meteor already does like a good chunk of damage, so you can also put Hidden Power Ice on there if you want. Yeah. This is a set, for example, that you could put like Nasty Plot and Dragon Pulse over Draco Meteor and Flamethrower, and then you could put Focus Sash over POISINIUM Z, and you'd have like a solid. You don't even need Nasty Plot, you can just put Focus Sash. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I don't have that much to say about it. You kind of what you see is kind of what you get, you know. I don't really have that much to say. It's pretty straightforward. You're taking advantage of Naganadel's really fast offensive capabilities. I like POISINIUM Z over Dragonium Z personally, just because I don't know how popular Fini's gonna be, and I think it's a bit, like if Misty Terrain is around, then the fact that you're using a Z move that's like half, like could be base power cut in half is not ideal. So that's why, and I really like the idea that Naganadel can like Oko, because Poison, like, because you're not using a boosting item with this set, like, even though Sludge Bomb is super effective, like, its special attack isn't so high that it will Oko a lot of stuff. I mean, even Nihilego last year, which has a very high special attack, even with Life Orb sometimes wouldn't KO things, like, for, like, very bulky things, like Tapu Fini. So that's why I really like POISINIUM Z. I think U-Turn is really solid on most sets over Flamethrower, Hidden Power Ground. If you have the coverage, then in that case, like, Naganadel is so fast that you can use U-Turn to, like, scout and get out, which is really helpful, but, you do give up a coverage move, excuse me. You can put Dragon Pulse over Draco Meteor. I don't recommend it. If you like find yourself missing a lot more than, I mean, like if you find yourself when you miss having it pretty bad, or if you just really hate low accuracy moves, the special attack drop, then you can put, yeah, you can use Dragon Pulse. And Nasty Plot, of course, is also an option. So yeah, I really don't have that much to say about the set. I think solid set, pretty straightforward. Next up, we have Life Orb. So these EVs you can also use in the POISINIUM Z set. You just take an extra 8 out of your special attack and put it into defense, like in addition to your 4 extra, and this makes the roll from Landorus T Earthquake after Intimidate lower. It makes it a 12.5% chance to Oko instead of a 25% chance. It might not make that much sense with Life Orb, but if this is mainly like if you find yourself struggling against Scarf Landorus T, it makes the roll from 1 in 4 chance to Oko to 1 in 8, which is definitely an improvement. Yes. Same moves as before, pretty similar EVs. The difference is that instead of having one especially strong like poison type move, you get all of your moves are stronger. So I ran calcs, but my computer crashed, and so I lost all my calcs. So I'm just looking at it now, and I didn't realize that it had crashed. And so when it loaded again, like you can use like backup recovery and Word, but it didn't save the calcs for the set. I'm sorry. I believe like Hidden Power Ground and Flamethrower especially would benefit a lot from Life Orb. Like it makes a lot of rolls more favorable. I think in this set, Draco Meteor with Life Orb Oko's Landorus T, I'm pretty sure. I would calc now, but yeah, I'm just gonna calc. Sorry guys. Okay. Boop boop boop. Because I wish I want to know. I apologize for everyone. I got a lot of comments saying that I'm unprofessional. I assume these people have never watched my channel before. I don't think I've ever purported to be professional. I do my best, but it's not my nature. But anyway, yeah, Life Orb. Okay, here we go. Life Orb, Draco Meteor KOs Landorus T, and I believe Hidden Power Ground, as long as we're here. Boop. You guys like the sound of me typing? Hidden Power Ground, yeah. So basically, you need a Life Orb to Oko Heatran with Hidden Power Ground, and you need a Life Orb to Oko Landorus T with Draco Meteor. You have to keep in mind that, although this is 0 bulk Heatran, keep in mind. So max HP Heatran lives if they can EV4 Life Orb Hidden Power Ground, but with some chip damage, like if you have like a Rock Slide Pokemon or Salamence with Hyper Voice or something, like, or like Dazzling Beam from Coco won't do it, but like yeah, basically like Hidden Power Ground KOs Frail Heatran, Draco Meteor KOs like non-Assault Vest Landorus T, Sludge Bomb is I'm sorry guys, I should have run on this before. Tapu Fini, Sludge Bomb doesn't KO Tapu Fini if they're somewhat bulky, but still does, like, it's, like, very close. It has a roll to KO non-com type of Feeny, as long as they're not, like, stupidly invested. So, yeah, that's the calcs with this one. Hits really hard. Still max speed. You want to be fast with this boy. You can drop a little speed if you're not worried about opposing Naganadel, but I think you should probably be using max speed because you don't, like, the returns you get for not using max speed are not super high. And other options, again, you can use U-turn. I don't really, actually, like, I'm not crazy about U-turn on this set because you're taking recoil damage, so it kind of changes the dynamic a little bit. Like, now you actually have to pay a cost when you use U-turn, so I don't actually recommend U-turn. Dragon Pulse is also still an option. Nasty Plot, option? Did I say option? I'm so sorry. Dragon Pulse is also an option, though in this set I really don't love it. Nasty Plot also an option. Tailwind is something I should have put on here. I totally forgot to put Tailwind on here. Tailwind's a really solid option. On Life Orb, it's like really best on Sash sets, but yeah, I think Tailwind's an option as well. Pretty much any coverage move you want, like from the original slide, can be used here. Moving on. Last set. Scarf. I think this is actually super cool. So Nagandel is actually kind of really weird in the sense that it's so fast, okay? It's like stupidly fast. And what that means is it can outspeed things that it shouldn't be able to outspeed with a Choice Scarf. So for example, this set, let me pull up my notes. Okay, actually no. Okay, so first, there was like a lot of different things that I wanted to do with this set, and like honestly, you have so many options, and a lot of it depends on how fast you want to go and how much bulk you want. So this is like kind of what I would use, but I have a couple other options. So U-turn I think is really good in the Scarf set. Lets you scout and do a little bit of chip damage, and sometimes hit things are super effective, but mainly you're just scouting and seeing what they're doing and getting out of there for like pivotal position. Draco Meteor's solid option. Sludge Bomb mandatory. Flamethrower, Hidden Power Ground again. Also, on this, you can use Hidden Power Ice. You can also use Snarl or Skydrop. Am I forgetting anything? Or Dragon Pulse as well. You can drop U-turn if you want. I really like U-turn personally, but you need Draco Meteor, you need Sludge Bomb, and you probably want some kind of a coverage move. I really should have put Hidden Power Ice on here. I don't know why I didn't. I think whenever I put Hidden Power Ground, I meant Hidden Power Ground / Hidden Power Ice, but I just didn't write the Ice part. But yeah, anyways. Hidden Power Ice is really good. Hidden Power Ground, Flamethrower, it's mainly for coverage. Draco Meteor and Sludge Bomb obviously can hit everything except for Steel types for the most part. Like Tyranitar obviously is going to be a problem, but we'll come to that in a minute. But anyway, you can hit everything except for Steel types. So the Steel types are like Ferrothorn, Heatran, Aegislash, Scissor, question mark, probably not. Yeah, so that's basically what you want your fourth coverage move to do. Or you can have Flamethrower and Hidden Power Ground / Ice if you want to drop a U-turn, which is, makes you like, I mean, obviously it gets you stuck on the field more, but in terms of coverage, it's better. So, that actually, yeah, that might be, I mean, it's up to you. You have to test, see what your team requires, but yes. I've talked about the other options. Snarl doesn't make a ton of sense, but in certain teams, like if you have, I don't know, Mega Gengar or Gothitelle, maybe, or if you like find your style, I don't know, like on some teams I'm sure it makes sense. Dragon Pulse over U-turn is solid because like you can lock yourself into like a strong stab move that isn't going to drop your special attack, and I like Skydrop always, especially on Scarf sets. It's kind of a gimmick, but I do like it a lot. Okay, what does the spread do? Because that's actually the coolest part of this set. So basically for your speed stat, this amount of investment, 180 speed EVs with a modest nature, outspeeds max speed modest Ludicolo in the rain, which is absolutely insane. Like, that's really crazy. And, okay, other stats. You have the minimum you should probably go with 60 EVs. That'll outspeed Pheromosa. 132 EVs outspeeds Jolly, Choice Scarf, Landorus T. 164 EVs in speed outspeeds Timid, Tapu Lele. Obviously, 180 is what I want to use because it outspeeds Ludicolo and Rain if they're modest, and they're not going to be Timid most likely, which is just nuts. If you want to go all the way up to Timid with 212 EVs, you can outspeed Kingdra in the Rain. So that's 137 base, or like 137 effective speed stat, and you can outspeed it, which is nuts. The defense EVs on this set allows it to live Mega Kangaskhan Double Edge most of the time. I think it only like dies, or it's KO'd less than 6% of the time. If you don't want that, if you want more power, you can drop your defense for special attack. You might notice that we only have 116 EVs in special attack, but the thing is that this actually has the same effective special attack stat as a 244 special attack Naganadel, the same special attack stat as the Life Orb set that we just saw, but with a timid nature. So, or like this, it has the same stat because the nature makes a difference. So, I think this is a really cool like option for Naganadel just because you can do so many cool things with the speed. Keep in mind that because you can outspeed Kingdra in Rain, that also means you can outspeed anything 137 and below in Tailwind. I believe Ludicolo is 122 if I'm remembering correctly, but I have to double check that. It's base 90 or base 70, right? So. Yeah, it should be 122. Yes, anyway, so you can do really cool things with Scarf Naganadel where you're outspeeding things that you shouldn't be outspeeding. I think this is the coolest set. I don't know if it's the most viable one, but just in terms of like things you can do, if you have like basically normally when you're dealing with speed control or like tailwind, for specifically tailwind actually, like because it only lasts for 4 turns and the first one's you setting it up, they only have 3 turns, and so if you were to double protect on both those turns, they'd only have 1 turn to actually be faster than you. So normally the strategies kind of switch around, or if you have your own speed control like Icy Wind or Trick Room, or if you're just bulky enough that it doesn't matter, like that's how you deal with it. But it's very rare to keep on the gas when they have like a faster Pokemon, especially like a really strong one like Hydro Vortex, Ludicolo in the Rain. That's kind of really strong. So yeah, I think that's why I think the set is the coolest, even if it might not be the most viable, because it like really opens doors. Obviously, like you can also outspeed anything 164 speed stat and below after they boost up +1. So that's, for example, Komao if they use the Clangorous Soul Blaze. You know, like you can still outspeed that after, and I don't know if Draco Meteor KOs, you have to count that, but yeah, okay, sorry, I'm rambling a lot, but I hope you don't mind, and if you do mind, I hope you change your mind. Okay, counters. Nagandel's tricky to counter because it has really good coverage, so for example, if they don't have Hidden Power Ground, then Heatran's like a perfect counter, right? But if they do have Hidden Power Ground, Heatran's not a perfect counter at all. So it really depends. Cresselia and Tyranitar are the most, I'm going to say, like, consistent counters. Cresselia is extremely bulky, and it can KO with... So I think... I actually didn't calculate the OHKO, but I would expect it to with Psychic, or Psyshock, Psychic, depending on investment on both Pokemon. It also has options for speed control. Like, one of Nagandel's kind of most important things is the fact that it's super fast and threatening, and so Cresselia really does a good job of threatening that, because it can use Trick Room and take away its speed advantage, and it can use Icy Wind and take away its speed advantage, and potentially break Focus Sashes. Yeah, so I think Cresselia is one of the best counters. It's not super threatened by anything. I mean, Dragonium Z and Poisinium Z are going to do damage, but at least when I've been playing on ladder, it seems like every Cresselia has 50% berry, so Cresselia is very bulky. Like, even more, like, Cresselia was already extremely bulky, and now it's, like, bulky times 2, so, I guess times 1.5, too technical, but regardless, yeah, so Cresselia is really solid. I like Steel types. It depends, like, basically, Heatran should be on here as well. But basically, depending on their coverage, the Naganadel can't, most of the time, will not have Flamethrower and Hidden Power Ground / Hidden Power Fighting. Can it get, is Naganadel, is it Ivy locked? You know how, like, legendaries are Ivy locked? I assume Ultra Beasts are as well. I don't actually know. I always just use bottle caps, so it doesn't matter, like, but I've forgotten. And I don't know if Naganadel, because you get into Poipole, you know? Sorry, it doesn't matter. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, you might not be able to have Hidden Power Fighting, but Hidden Power Ground is better anyways, in my opinion. So yeah, Steel types in general are very solid because it's immune to poison and resists Steel. You do have to watch out for the coverage move is the only thing. So I'm going to say those are like situational counters. Naganadel isn't super strong. The Wall can KO Naganadel with Gyro Ball, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But yeah, they're also like, these two are especially, I mean, Heatran also should be on this list. Heatran's also like naturally bulky. So yeah, basically soft counter, or like situational counters are Steel types. And then lastly, Tyranitar is just like an amazing counter in my opinion, because it's resist poison. I don't know what resist poison. I think it's rock, ground, poison, ghost. I think those are the resist. So anyway, I'm pretty sure Tyranitar resists poison type. It has an extremely high attack stat. It can also Mega Evolve into Mega Tyranitar and increase that attack stat even more, and it can also use its Z Crystal and do big damage. It breaks the Sash, and I think Sash is going to be pretty common on Naganadel because it's not super bulky. So yeah, being able to break the Sash I think is pretty good. Yes, so Tyranitar is an amazing counter. And that's all I've got, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, whatever. Thank you for doing both. I hope. If you have feedback, let me know. I mean, I recognize that I stutter and that I could be more planned out or whatever, but these guides already actually take me a while to make, and so that's like kind of why there's been a big break between the last one and this one, is because I'm not super good with Photoshop, and I have to like in the past when I made guides, I would just like think about it and do it on Showdown, and so it was fine because it didn't take very long to actually like make the visuals. But for this one, like I have to make all this stuff, you know, and I'm like really not very smart when it comes to computers or like Photoshop. I'm just learning the program now, so it takes me a really long time. So if I were to like do everything that I do and script it out like extremely like well for a 20-minute video, that would take me like so long that I don't think I'd be able to do more than like one a week, because I'm in school and finals are about to start. But yeah, other than the fact that I could probably be more professional, I hope you aren't actually bothered by it. I care more about the information that's presented than the manner in which the information is presented, which might be a fault on my part. But anyway, if you like have feedback, let me know. If there's Pokemon you want me to cover, let me know. I'm excited. I think it'll be like my guides will probably go quicker once I like don't have to do all this research, because I like know a bit about how to use Heatran and Kangaskhan and like those guys. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Leave feedback. Let me know if any of these sets work for you. Let me know which one's your favorite. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Peace.